Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now we do know that a site deal has been approved by both Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, and that is very exciting. But just a few hours before, John Fury done an interview with Sky Sports, and I'd like to go into it a little bit. He spoke about the fact that he doesn't believe investors will be interested at the moment, although the deal has kind of been approved. So maybe he's not up on it as quickly, and maybe the offer came in and Tyson Fury approved it without going through it with his father. We don't know the ins and outs of it at the moment, but he did do that interview nonetheless. He spoke about the fact that Tyson Fury needs to fight, and he needs to fight in June, July, or August is the latest. And he didn't want to go any later than that because he's had inactivity anyway. He doesn't want any more of it, and he believes that he can still beat Anthony Joshua, or Tyson Fury can, based off of the inactivity currently. But if it goes any longer, then he's going to need warm-up fights, he's going to need to start again. So it was interesting comments from John Fury, and as I said, this came only a few hours, maybe 24 hours before Eddie Hearn explained that the site deal has been approved by both parties. Now of course we do know that Tyson Fury did travel to the US to secure this site deal to hash it out with Bob Arum, his US promoter, and with Top Rank also. So they were going over there to secure the site deal. John Fury did not travel with Tyson Fury. So obviously Tyson Fury went there to secure this deal and to probably start his training camp with Sugar Hill. So I would imagine that Tyson Fury will be based in the US for his training camp in preparations for the AJ fight. AJ of course will be in the UK. Now Frank Warren did express his concerns about the fight taking place in July due to the fact that Rob McCracken won't be able to train Anthony Joshua because it will conflict with the scheduling of the Tokyo Olympics. That is of course if it goes beyond July 23rd. So hopefully this fight will take place before then, and I mean he even said about the fact that it might take place in August or September, but in that case that would still cause problems for Rob McCracken, so I don't know why he made those comments. If it was going to be a problem, then it was always going to be a problem. I mean, July 24th was talked about, but I believe that that could have been a Wembley date. I'm not entirely sure that this fight will take place in the UK. In fact, I would say it's going somewhere else because there has been a site offer, and I don't believe they're going to get a site deal in the UK. They can get 90 to 100,000 fans at Wembley with the help of the UK government, but they are not getting a site fee, so the fight will go abroad. Eddie Hearn said himself he met with Tyson Fury, they were staying at the same hotel, they had a cup of tea and they hashed it out, they spoke about it, and that kind of communication is very important in making a fight like this. So of course there are those who are still skeptical, but a site deal has been approved and agreed apparently by both parties. They need to close on that deal and secure this fight, and then it is on. Now of course John Fury had his skepticisms about the fight happening, and he does believe that his son will emerge as victorious. They do want the fight. John Fury even said that during his interview, and he did say also that as of 9 PM tonight or last night, nothing had changed. So after that point, things have changed. So I know that that interview is kind of outdated with regards to those comments, but I want to talk more about the inactivity and the puncher's chance he believes is all that Anthony Joshua has in this contest. He believes that Tyson Fury is in a situation now where he can fight AJ even though he is coming off of this turn of inactivity because he didn't fight since Deontay Wilder 22nd of February 2020. He was supposed to fight in December, but that fell through. So Tyson Fury will be going into the fight as the inactive fighter. AJ had his fight with Kubrat Pulev 9 rounds at World Championship level. So AJ does have the activity on his side. But John Fury said that won't be a problem for Tyson Fury, that term of inactivity going into an AJ fight. He believes he can still beat him after that inactivity. Having said that, Anthony Joshua was out for a year after the Andy Ruiz Jr. rematch. It was a year between that fight and the Kubrat Pulev fight. So Tyson Fury will have a year and 4 to 5 months when he gets in the ring with AJ. I know the 4 months is extra, but still, Anthony Joshua has dealt with that inactivity going into the Pulev fight. It won't be the same going into the Tyson Fury fight. He will be the more active fighter. But AJ has also dealt with that kind of inactivity. Being in there under the lights, having a real fight against a world championship level fighter like Pulev for AJ is always going to be beneficial. It would have been beneficial, of course, if Fury could have fought in December. It is just unfortunate that he couldn't. John Fury explained that if it goes any longer, then he might have to start again. They cannot go into an Anthony Joshua fight off of, say, 2 years of inactivity, because that almost spans as long, 1 year short of his 3-year term out of the ring after the Klitschko fight. So he doesn't want to be that inactive. He wants to remain in the ring and start defending the belt. He said that Tyson Fury can reign for 5 years as champion defending the belt. He doesn't believe that there is anyone out there who can challenge him. He did speak about Jared Anderson, but he said he's only a prospect at the moment and he will come in when Tyson Fury leaves the sport. So therefore, there is no one around that can beat Tyson Fury, in his opinion. He must first though come through Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua is the one name that is spoken about who can beat Tyson Fury. He is the one who everyone says, yeah, I reckon he has a chance. I reckon Anthony Joshua can beat Tyson Fury, but some say Tyson Fury can beat Anthony Joshua. And the only way to settle that is for the fight to happen. Does Anthony Joshua only have a puncher's chance in this contest? Of course not. Anthony Joshua has shown he has many different facets to his game, many different things that he can do. He's shown it in the Ruiz fight, he's shown it in the Pulev fight, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. Anthony Joshua is not a different fighter. He is the same fighter we have seen, but much improved and far more mature. We've seen Anthony Joshua go down, we've seen him knocked down, we've seen Tyson Fury knocked down, and we have seen both fighters adjust after those knockdowns in their careers. Tyson Fury was knocked down by Steve Cunningham, a cruiserweight coming up to heavyweight. Everyone was saying that he's chinny. He got dropped by Deontay Wilder, the so-called biggest puncher in the heavyweight division, twice. He got up twice to be able to continue. That's because he's learned how to position himself and to ride shots. Anthony Joshua has tightened up certain aspects of his game so that the same thing does not happen to him again, because that's the important thing, to learn from the mistakes. Yes, it was a bad loss against Ruiz, but look how he's bounced back from that. Look at the changes he has made. Same fighter, subtle adjustments. I mean, there is an interesting stat about Anthony Joshua. He's never been knocked down by an opponent. He hasn't knocked down first in the professionals. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that it was inexperience and immaturity that cost him, rushing in too quickly before the job was done. And we saw that against Klitschko. I mean, his 19th fight. I mean, he was so inexperienced at that point, and he had to learn on the job. He said after the fight, he learned more in those 11 rounds than he did in his entire professional career, and I believe him. I think that if someone talks about a fighter only having a puncher's chance in the contest, that needs to be justified based on other performances. What about Deontay Wilder? What chance did Deontay Wilder have in a fight with Tyson Fury? A puncher's chance, because what else has Deontay Wilder proven or shown during his career to make you believe he could outbox Tyson Fury, to stand there and have a boxing match with him and come out on top? That was never going to happen. It was just a puncher's chance. Now, has Anthony Joshua shown other things than just a puncher's chance in other contests? He's shown a lot more than that in the Ruiz rematch, in the Pulev fight, in the Klitschko fight as well, because he did land some good shots. He dropped Klitschko, but Klitschko was so experienced that he was able to stick in there. So what was required from Anthony Joshua in that contest was more than that of just a puncher. Wilder we have seen being outboxed by the likes of Gerald Washington even, that kind of level, but he still got the victory based on his punching power. Anthony Joshua found someone who could take his power. I mean, kind of Joe Parker, but Parker fought a certain way, and he didn't really engage with Anthony Joshua. He didn't take that many risks, but still, he was able to stand up to those punches which landed, but AJ was able to outbox him for 12 rounds, keeping him out of range. Parker wanted to use a double jab coming around to the side, but AJ kept his jab flowing, and Parker was out of range for the entire contest, which meant he could not implement his game plan. Ruiz could take the power of AJ, so AJ reverted to boxing. And had he been someone with only a power punch, he would not have been able to do that. You don't become a world champion, unify twice and defend the belts like Anthony Joshua has, against the likes of Povetkin and Pulev, if you only have a puncher's chance. Now I know that John Fury is saying that in this particular fight, AJ only has a puncher's chance compared to Tyson Fury, but I would say we have seen plenty more from Anthony Joshua to prove he has other aspects of his game that he can call upon in fights such as Tyson Fury, when there is someone in there who he has to adapt with as he goes through the contest. Boxing has this funny way of ripping up the script. What you think is going to happen, sometimes the complete opposite ends up happening. That is why we want to see this fight so much. If it was just a big power puncher against a boxer, then it wouldn't have this kind of intrigue. The reason why people want to see it so much is because we don't know who is going to win. The only way to find out is to see it in the ring. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also leave a like and grab that subscribe button. Thanks, guys.